We are hearing from President Trump. He is on his Truth Social platform saying that Charlie Kirk has passed away. So again, I'm going to read to you what the president said. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. So again, President Trump telling us at this hour that Charlie Kirk has died. Kirk was shot at an event at Utah Valley University earlier today, shortly after noon, according to the university. There was a single shot that rang out. He was shot in the neck, and now the President of the United States, someone that Charlie Kirk was close to, is reporting that he has died. I want to bring in Kristen Holmes. She is live for us at the White House. Again, Kristen, we're of course mourning Charlie Kirk. This is a man who, he was 31 years old. He had two very small children, 3 and 1 ages, I believe. He is someone who was very close to the President of the United States, close to the Trump family, someone who played a critical role, if you talk to people around the president, in the president winning his second term. What are you hearing from those close to us? We, of course, read the statement that just came through from President Trump.
It's a very somber mood here. People are very upset. It's not just at the White House, it's really among Republicans as a whole. The Republican Party has become the party of Trump, the MAGA movement, and Charlie Kirk was really at the heart of all of that. He is credited with a huge portion of Trump's win in 2024. He was on the ground. He created an entire system to get young voters out and excited and enthusiastic about Trump. And it's not just as though he was some kind of outside influencer. He was very close to the president himself. I know specific examples of times that the two of them went back and forth over various issues. When Charlie thought something was important to the MAGA base, he brought it to the president's attention. There are some people who believe that Charlie had his finger on the pulse of Trump's base more than even some of his own cabinet officials. He had a huge following and, again, was so close to the family, to President Trump himself. And one of the things, I continue to bring up is the fact that there was a lot of conversation during the transition as to potentially making Charlie Kirk part of the administration. But the ultimate decision was that he was more influential, had more power outside of being in a government position. He had been in Washington a number of times. He had been here with his family. He went to swearing-ins of numerous officials because he was so close to those officials. He had direct lines to almost, if not all, cabinet secretaries. I can tell you a number of them spoke to him personally. He was incredibly powerful and influential within this administration, and it feels from those that I'm talking to as though they've lost a member of their team. It is really critical to point out here just how important he was to the election, but also to President Trump. I had one person tell me that Trump considered him to be like family, and that's likely why you're seeing Trump as the one who is announcing his passing, not his family. All of this was done in conjunction. They've been in constant touch with the family, with Charlie's team, getting updates, trying to figure out what exactly happened on the ground. Now, no indication, no word if President Trump is actually going to also make a statement other than this Truth Social post. I know that they are in touch still with everyone close to Charlie's family, with his team at Turning Point, with the team around him, just trying to make sense of what happened. But I will tell you, I talked to, again, a number of officials within the administration who are close to President Trump who just can't wrap their head around what happened earlier today.
Of course they can't. Kristen Holmes, stand by for us as we continue to cover this story. I want to bring back our Scott Jennings. Scott, first of all, I'm sorry for your loss. I know this is somebody that you knew. What are your reflections on his life, his legacy in this moment?
Well, Charlie was one of the most unique and special people in the conservative movement today. What he was able to build, the people he was able to organize, was just so large and powerful. He was able to convince people to get involved in politics that might not have otherwise done so. When you look at what he did on these campuses and in these public events, thousands of people were showing up, not for a rock concert, not for a sporting event, but for American politics. He inspired all these kids to be involved in their country. This is unequivocally a good legacy. He was also a godly person. He spoke about his faith openly. He was unapologetic about his views. I think what's been said about Charlie having his hand on the finger on the pulse of the MAGA base is true. But what's also true is that he was enormously influential in that when an issue was emerging, when something was happening and people were sorting out their own views on it, how should I feel about this? Charlie was one of the first people they turned to see, where's Charlie going to be on this issue? And how's he processing it? How's he analyzing it? And how does he think the young conservative should view whatever the issue happened to be? So it wasn't that he was just reflecting people, he was leading people, he was influencing people. When he did something, when he said something, when he took a stand on an issue, you can bet that people would move. And so what he did to organize these young kids, to bring conservative values and views into public spaces that aren't normally thought of as places where conservatives would gather, was enormously courageous. It took a lot of damn guts to do it. And we'll never forget Charlie for being that next generation of conservative leader, rallying people when you might not have thought it was cool to do so, but he did it anyway. And he made it cool. And he made it, honestly, Charlie Kirk was a destination for a lot of young conservatives, and
Well,
we're going to miss him.
Scott, I mean, one thing, it's worth just noting how young he was. I mean, he started this organization back in 2012. He was 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's 31 today. I mean, even, I think the Trump people at the beginning sort of raised an eyebrow. They thought, this kid, like, what does he know? Yeah. And he showed them all that he actually had what you are talking about. He had something.
He did. He had a charisma, and he had an ability to make politics engaging for that audience. He took something that some young people might find to be boring or out of reach, and he made it relevant and interesting for them. And once he had them, and once they were involved, he had then this ability to motivate them to do something with that. If you've ever been to one of these Turning Point USA rallies, I went to the one in Tampa just a few weeks ago, and I was honored. He invited me to speak there. It was the first time I had done so. And it's just arena full of young people. Some are in college, some are in high school, some are just young adults. And their enthusiasm and zeal for the future of our country and how you change it for the better, and how they arrived at that was so inspiring. The way they arrived at it was because they were inspired by someone who knew how to use his voice, knew how to engage in debate and political rhetoric. What he was doing was the opposite of what's happened to Charlie. What's happened to him is violent, but he was using his words and his speech, which is our first protected freedom in this country. And so we're going to miss Charlie, and we pray for his wife and those babies. He leaves behind a young family. People like this who exist in the public sphere, we know them as public actors, and we see them in front of crowds, and we see them on TV, and we hear them on the radio. But they go home at night too, and they open a front door, and they hug a wife, and they hug children, and they put them down, and they oversee the toothbrushing and everything just like the rest of us. And so there's that side of them that we don't often think about, but Charlie was doing that too. So I just think in moments like this, it's easy to analyze the politics, but you know, there was Charlie the husband and Charlie the father, and he'll be missed forever.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.